He worked 80 hours a week for 10 years, built a successful company, made millions. Then, one Tuesday morning, he couldn't get out of bed. Not because he was tired, too 25. Because his brain had literally shut down. The doctors called it burnout. He called it the price of success. But here's what nobody tells you. Hustle culture isn't ambition. It's suicide with a motivational soundtrack. Work, the most socially acceptable addiction in human history. The only drug where society celebrates you for overdosing. You're grinding 8 zero-hour weeks? You're dedicated? You haven't taken a vacation in 3 years? You're committed? You're answering emails at midnight? You're a go-getter. But let me ask you something. If someone told you they were injecting heroin 16 hours a day, would you call them dedicated? Would you praise their commitment? End quote. No. You'd say they're destroying themselves. But when someone destroys themselves with work, we give them awards. We put them on magazine covers. We call them inspirational. Today, we're going to talk about what hustle culture actually is. A psychological trap that convinces you that your worth equals your productivity, that rest is laziness, that balance is for the weak, that if you're not suffering, you're not succeeding. And I'm going to show you why this mindset is creating an epidemic of burnout, anxiety, depression, and early death that's affecting millions of people who think they're just working hard. This isn't about being lazy. This isn't about giving up on your dreams. This is about understanding the difference between sustainable ambition and self-destruction. Wearing a productivity podcast. Welcome to Uncensored. Let's destroy the cult of hustle. Let me start with a simple truth. Work can be as addictive as cocaine. And I mean that literally, not metaphorically, literally. When you accomplish something, close a deal, finish a project, get praise from your boss, see your business grow, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes drugs addictive, the same chemical that keeps gamblers pulling slot machine levers. Your brain says, that felt good, do it again. So you do. You work harder, you achieve more, you get another hit of dopamine. And here's where it becomes a trap. Just like with drugs, you build tolerance. That first promotion? Incredible high, life-changing. You're on top of the world. The second promotion? Still good, but not quite as intense. The 10th barely registers. Now it's just expected. Now it's just baseline. So you need more. Bigger achievements, more hours, more projects, more money, more recognition. You're chasing the dragon, just like an addict. And the truly insidious part? Society tells you, this is good. This is ambition. This is what successful people do. Nobody tells you that you're developing a behavioral addiction that will eventually destroy you. Because workaholism doesn't look like addiction. It looks like success. You're not passed out in an alley. You're in a corner office. You're not stealing to fund your habit. You're earning 6 figures. You're not losing relationships. Wait, actually, you are. But that's just the price of success, right? Wrong. You're addicted to the dopamine hit of achievement. And like any addiction, you need increasingly larger doses to feel the same effect. Until one day, no amount of achievement makes you feel good anymore. You've broken your reward system. That's when burnout hits. Now, let me tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. Most workaholics aren't working towards something. They're running from something. Think about it. When was the last time you just sat? No phone, no laptop, no podcast, no task. Just you and your thoughts. Does that sound uncomfortable? Unbearable even? That's the problem. Work isn't just about achieving goals. For many people, work is about avoiding themselves. As long as you're busy, you don't have to think about the relationship that's falling apart, the existential questions you can't answer, the childhood trauma you never processed, the fact that you don't actually know who you are outside of your job title, the gnawing feeling that success won't make you happy. Staying busy is emotional anesthesia. You wake up, check emails all day, meetings, tasks, deadlines, night, more emails, sleep, repeat. When do you have time to feel, to reflect, to ask yourself if this is actually what you want? Never. And that's the point. This is why so many successful people are profoundly unhappy. They've spent decades running. And when they finally stop, retirement, sabbatical, forced rest due to health crisis, they have to face everything they've been avoiding. And they have no idea who they are. Because their entire identity is hard worker, high achiever, successful, high AM. Strip away the work, and what's left? For many people, nothing. An empty shell that never developed a personality beyond productivity. That's terrifying. So, they keep running. They work themselves to death because stopping feels like dying. And in a way, it is. It's ego death. The death of the identity they've built their entire life around. But here's what they don't understand. You're going to hit a wall eventually. Humans aren't designed for perpetual motion. Your body will force you to stop. Heart attack, stroke, immune system, collapse, mental breakdown. The question isn't if you'll stop. It's whether you'll stop voluntarily while you can still recover, or whether your body will make the decision for you. Let me tell you about the most profitable scam of the 21st century, selling you the tools to work yourself to death. Productivity apps, time blocking systems, morning routines, optimization frameworks, biohacking, nootropics, crushing it, culture. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry built on convincing you that if you just find the right system, you can work more hours, more efficiently, and finally, achieve what exactly? More work? Think about the logic here. You're using productivity tools to free up time so you can do more work. You're optimizing your morning routine so you can start working earlier. You're taking supplements so you can work longer without crashing. You're treating your body like a machine that needs to be optimized for maximum output. And the gurus selling you this stuff? They're getting rich telling you to work harder while they make money in their sleep from the courses they sell you. Gary V. telling you to work 1 8-hour days. Elon Musk tweeting about sleeping on the factory floor. Hustle porn Instagram accounts glorifying the grind. But here's what they don't tell you. This isn't sustainable. The people promoting hustle culture are either already rich and don't actually need to hustle anymore, making money from telling you to hustle, on the verge of burnout themselves, but too invested in the brand to admit it, or sociopaths who genuinely don't experience normal human need for rest, and you're not them. You're being sold a lifestyle that's designed to extract maximum value from you until you break. And the cruelest part? You're paying for the privilege, buying courses, hiring coaches, subscribing to productivity apps. You're funding your own exploitation. The productivity industrial complex doesn't want you to succeed. It wants you to believe success is always just one more system away, one more course, one more optimization. Keep buying, keep grinding, keep believing the lie that you're just not working hard enough yet. Meanwhile, the people selling you this dream are taking vacations, delegating work, and living balanced lives while telling you balance is for losers. Now let's talk about what actually happens to your body when you don't rest. Burnout isn't just feeling tired. It's not something you can push through with more coffee and motivational videos. Burnout is a physiological state. It's your body's emergency shutdown system activating because you've ignored every warning sign. Here's what chronic overwork does to your body. Your stress response stays permanently activated. Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods your system constantly. This isn't meant to be a permanent state. Cortisol is designed for short-term crisis response. Run from the tiger, then rest. But you never rest. So your cortisol levels stay elevated forever. This leads to weakened immune system. You get sick constantly. Digestive problems. Your gut literally stops working properly. Sleep disruption. You're exhausted but can't sleep. Weight gain. Cortisol signals your body to store fat. Cognitive decline. Your brain starts deteriorating. Cardiovascular damage, heart disease, high blood pressure. Your dopamine system breaks. We talked about this earlier. Constant achievement seeking burns out your reward circuits. Nothing brings you joy anymore. Not work, not rest, not relationships, nothing. This is called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. It's one of the core symptoms of depression. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and emotional regulation, starts to atrophy. You become irritable, irrational, unable to focus, making poor decisions, emotionally unstable. These aren't character flaws. This is brain damage from chronic stress. Your telomeres shorten. These are protective caps on your DNA. When they get too short, your cells can't replicate anymore. This is biological aging. Chronic stress accelerates this process. You're literally aging faster than people who rest. Your inflammation markers skyrocket. Chronic inflammation is linked to almost every disease: cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, autoimmune disorders. You're setting yourself up for a slow, painful decline. And here's the kicker. You probably think you're fine. You've been operating in crisis mode for so long that it feels normal. You don't realize you're drowning because you've forgotten what breathing feels like. Until your body gives you a wake-up call. Heart attack at 40, stroke at 45, autoimmune diagnosis, mental breakdown, DS. Then you finally stop. Not because you chose to, because your body made the choice for you. Let me ask you a question. Who are you without your job title? Think about it. Not what you do, who you are. Can't answer? That's the problem. Modern society has conflated identity with occupation. We don't ask, who are you? We ask, what do you do? And for workaholics, that question is terrifying, because the honest answer is, I don't know who I am outside of my work. This is why retirement kills so many people. Studies show that men especially often die within a few years of retiring. Not because they're old. Many retire in their 60s, which isn't that old anymore, but because they've lost their identity. Their entire sense of self was built around their job. Without it, they don't know who they are. They have no hobbies, no interests, no personality outside of work. They've spent 40 years being the engineer, the executive, the lawyer. They never developed John or Mike or whoever they are beneath the title. So when the title goes away, they go away too. And this doesn't just happen at retirement. This happens anytime you're forced to stop working. You get laid off. You get sick. You have a mental breakdown. Suddenly, you're confronted with yourself, and there's nothing there. Just a void, an emptiness where a personality should be. You don't have hobbies because hobbies are for people with free time, and I'm busy building my empire. You don't have deep friendships because networking is more valuable than friends. You don't have interesting thoughts or opinions beyond your industry because I need to stay focused on my career. You've optimized yourself into a one-dimensional productivity machine. And now you're facing the consequences. You're successful, accomplished, wealthy even, and completely hollow inside. You've climbed the mountain, reached the peak, looked around, and realized there's nothing there. No satisfaction, no fulfillment, no meaning, just the view. And the crushing realization that you sacrificed everything to climb a mountain you didn't even want to be on. Now let's talk about what hustle culture does to your relationships. Your partner asks when you're coming to bed. You say, soon, 3 hours ago. Your kids ask you to play. You say, I'm busy for the 10th time this week. Your friends invite you out. You cancel again because you have work stuff. You tell yourself, they understand. I'm doing this for us, for our future. But here's the truth. They don't understand, and they're done waiting. Because while you've been building your empire, they've been building resentment. Your partner feels like a roommate. Your kids don't know you. Your friends stopped inviting you because you never show up anyway. And you tell yourself, this is temporary. Once I hit this goal, once I make this much money, once the business is stable, then I'll have time. That's a lie. And deep down, you know it. Because every goal has another goal behind it. Every milestone reveals another mountain. There's always one more thing, one more project, one more achievement. Meanwhile, your kids are growing up. Your partner is lonely. Your friends have moved on. And you're going to wake up one day, successful, accomplished, with all the money you wanted, and realize you're completely alone. Because here's what hustle culture doesn't tell you. Relationships require presence, not money, not success. Presence. Your kids don't need a wealthy parent. They need a present parent. Your partner doesn't need expensive vacations. They need you to put down your phone during dinner. Your friends don't need a successful friend. They need a friend who shows up. But you can't give presents because you're never present. You're always thinking about the next task, the next email, the next deadline. Oh, even when you're physically there, you're mentally at work. This is what kills relationships, not the hours, the absence, the feeling that you're there but not really there. And the cruelest irony? You're doing all this work for them, to give them a better life, to provide. But what they actually want is you, your time, your attention, your presence. And you're giving them everything except that. You're providing financial security while creating emotional bankruptcy. And by the time you realize it, when the business is stable, when you finally have time, when you're ready to be present, they're gone. Divorce papers, estranged kids, friends you haven't spoken to in years. You won the game and lost everything that mattered. Here's something nobody tells you about success. It doesn't feel how you think it will. You spend years, maybe decades, chasing a goal, believing that when you achieve it, you'll finally be happy, finally be satisfied, finally be enough. You tell yourself, once I make $1 million, once I get promoted to VP, once my company hits 100 employees, then you get there, and it feels nothing. Maybe a brief high, a moment of satisfaction, then it fades, and you're left thinking, that's it? This is what I sacrificed everything for? This is the success paradox. The things you think will make you happy don't, because happiness doesn't come from achievement. It comes from fulfillment. It comes from fulfillment. Happy and fulfillment doesn't come from external validation. It comes from doing work that aligns with your values, having meaningful relationships, contributing to something larger than yourself, growing as a person, being present in your life, none of which require working 80 hours a week. In fact, grinding yourself into dust actively prevents these things. You can't do meaningful work when you're burned out and resentful. You can't have meaningful relationships when you're never present. You can't contribute to something larger when you're only focused on your own success. You can't grow as a person when you've narrowed yourself to one dimension, productivity. You can't be present when you're constantly thinking about the next thing. So you achieve everything you thought you wanted. And you're still empty. Because you were chasing the wrong thing. You thought success would make you happy. But success is external. Happiness is internal. And you've spent so much time optimizing the external that you completely neglected the internal. Your bank account is full. Your soul is empty. Your calendar is packed. Your life is hollow. Your resume is impressive. Your existence is meaningless. This is the success paradox, and millions of high achievers are discovering it too late. Let me paint you a picture of what the typical successful workaholic looks like at 45. Overweight, despite not having time to eat poorly. Sleep deprived, surviving on 5 hours and stimulants, on multiple medications, blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, back, neck, repetitive stress injuries, digestive issues, IBS, acid reflux, stress-induced problems, immune system shot, constantly sick, cognitive decline, foggy, can't focus like they used to, emotionally numb, can't remember the last time they felt real joy. This is what 20 years of hustle culture does to your body. And the scary part? They think this is normal. Everyone my age has these problems. No, everyone who overworks has these problems. Your body wasn't designed to operate in constant crisis mode. When you do, it breaks down. Here's what the research shows. Working more than 55 hours per week, 35% increased risk of stroke, 17% increased risk of dying from heart disease, higher rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disorders, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, higher mortality rate overall, chronic sleep deprivation, less than 7 hours, increased risk of obesity, weakened immune system, higher risk of chronic diseases, cognitive impairment equivalent to being legally drunk, increased risk of early death, chronic stress, accelerated cellular aging, increased inflammation throughout the body, DNA damage, hormonal imbalances, neurodegenerative diseases. You're not building success. You're building an early grave. And the hustle culture response to this? Sleep when you're dead. Pain is weakness leaving the body. No days off. What? And that's not motivation. That's a suicide cult. Here's a narrative I hear constantly. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm building generational wealth. I'm setting them up for success. Let me be blunt. You're lying to yourself. Your kids don't need generational wealth. They need a parent. You know what studies show about children of workaholics? Higher rates of anxiety and depression, attachment issues, lower self-esteem, difficulty forming relationships, and, ironically, often become workaholics themselves, repeating the cycle. You're not giving them a better life. You're giving them money and trauma. They'll remember that you missed their games, their recitals, their important moments. They'll remember feeling like they weren't important enough for your time. And no amount of money makes up for that. Moreover, let's be real about generational wealth. Most wealthy families lose the wealth by the third generation, because money without the values, work ethic, and wisdom to sustain it disappears quickly. You know what actually creates generational success? Being present, teaching your kids through your actions, not your bank account. Showing them how to have healthy relationships, how to find work they're passionate about, how to balance ambition with well-being, how to be a present parent. These lessons require presence, not presence. And if you're never there, they learn the opposite. Success means sacrificing family. Work is more important than relationships. Love is conditional on achievement. Being present is optional. Congratulations. You've taught them to repeat your mistakes. The generational wealth you're building isn't financial. It's emotional bankruptcy passed down like an inheritance. Let me show you what you're actually trading. You think you're trading time for money, hours for success, present comfort for future security. But that's not what you're trading. You're trading your health for money you'll spend on medical bills. All those hours, they're destroying your body. The money you're making, you'll spend it trying to fix the damage. Heart surgery, therapy, medications, physical therapy for stress injuries. You're not building wealth. You're prepaying your medical expenses. You're trading your relationships for a loneliness you can't buy your way out of. You can hire employees. You can hire assistants. You can hire help. You can't hire people to love you. When you're lying in a hospital bed at 50 after your second heart attack, the people around you won't be there because you're successful. They'll be there because you built real relationships with them. Or they won't be there at all because you didn't. You're trading your present for a future that might never come. You're sacrificing today for someday. When you retire, when the business is stable, when you've made enough. But what if you die before then? What if you burn out before then? You've spent your entire life building a future you never get to enjoy. You're trading your identity for a title that will be stripped away. You are not your job, but you've made it your identity. And when it's taken away, layoff, retirement, business failure, burnout, who are you? Nobody. Because you never developed a self outside of work. You're trading your potential for a narrow version of success. You could have been so many things: artist, parent, friend, partner, mentor, adventurer, learner. But you narrowed yourself to one dimension: productive worker. You optimized for one metric, output, and ignored everything else that makes a life worth living. So what's the alternative? What does real success look like? Let me tell you what it's not. It's not working 80 hours a week. It's not sacrificing your health, relationships, and sanity for money. It's not proving your worth through productivity. It's not achieving goals that leave you empty. Real success is doing work you find meaningful. Not work that impresses others. Not work that makes the most money. Work that feels worth doing. Having time for the people you love, being present with them, creating memories, building deep connections, taking care of your body, sleeping enough, eating well, moving, resting when you need to, developing yourself as a complete human, having interests, hobbies, curiosities, a personality beyond your job, living according to your values, not society's values, not Instagram's values, yours. Being present in your life, not constantly thinking about the next thing, actually experiencing this thing. Having enough, not always chasing more, actually being satisfied with what you have. This doesn't mean you can't be ambitious. It doesn't mean you can't work hard. It doesn't mean you can't achieve great things. It means you don't sacrifice everything else to do it. It means you recognize that success without fulfillment is failure. It means you understand that your deathbed won't feature regrets about not working enough. It'll feature regrets about not living enough. Nobody dies wishing they'd spent more time at the office. They die wishing they'd spent more time with people they loved, doing things they enjoyed, being present in moments that mattered. Don't wait until you're dying to figure this out. So, how do you break free from hustle culture if you're already trapped in it? I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard. Because you're not just changing your behavior. You're changing your identity. Step 1. Recognize you have a problem. If you can't take a week off without anxiety, you have a problem. If your relationships are suffering because of work, you have a problem. If you're experiencing physical symptoms of stress, you have a problem. If you don't know who you are outside of work, you have a problem. Stop calling it dedication. Call it what it is: addiction. Step 2. Understand what you're running from. Sit with yourself. No distractions. No phone. No work. What are you avoiding? What uncomfortable truth are you not facing? Address that. Therapy might help. Honest self-reflection definitely will. Step 3. Redefine success. Write down what actually matters to you, not what you think should matter, what actually does. Usually it's health, relationships, meaning, growth, presence. Now, look at how you spend your time. Does it align? If not, your life is misaligned with your values. Fix that. Step 4. Set boundaries. Real boundaries. Non-negotiable. No work after 7 p.m. Weekends are sacred. Vacation means vacation. No email. People will push back. Let them. Your health is more important than their convenience. Step 5. Develop an identity outside work. Find hobbies, not productive hobbies, actual hobbies, things you do just because you enjoy them. Cultivate friendships, real ones, not networking. Learn things unrelated to your career. Read fiction, take art classes, do something pointless, and enjoy it. Step 6. Practice being present. Put down your phone, close your laptop, be here, now. With your partner, your kids, your friends, yourself. Presence is a skill. You've lost it. Relearn it. Step 7. Learn to rest without guilt. Rest is not weakness, it's requirement. Your body needs it. Your brain needs it. Your soul needs it. Stop glorifying exhaustion. Stop wearing burnout like a badge. Rest. Actually rest. Without working. Without being productive. Without feeling guilty. Step 8. Reframe productivity. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. You can be incredibly productive in 40 hours if you focus on what's actually important. Most of your 80 hours is busy work, meetings that could be emails, and tasks that don't move the needle. Cut the bullshit. Focus on what matters. Go home. This isn't a 30-day fix. This is a life change. It'll take months, maybe years, to fully break free. But it's worth it, because the alternative is working yourself to death for a success that never fulfills you. So here's where we are. You now know what hustle culture actually is, a socially acceptable addiction that's destroying your health, relationships, and soul while convincing you it's the path to success. You know the biology, the psychology, the cost. And you have a choice. You can keep grinding, keep telling yourself it's temporary, keep believing the lie that you'll rest once you've achieved enough. Keep watching your body deteriorate, your relationships crumble, your life pass by while you're too busy to notice. Keep being a productivity machine until you break. Or you can stop. Not quit, not give up on your ambitions, not become lazy. Stop the madness. Stop sacrificing everything for a version of success that leaves you empty. Choose sustainable ambition over self-destruction. Choose presence over productivity. Choose a life over a resume. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say. You're going to die. Maybe in 50 years. Maybe tomorrow. You don't know. And when you're lying in that hospital bed, or sitting in that chair at 80, or whenever your end comes, you're going to ask yourself one question. Did I live, or did I just work? What's your answer going to be? Because you're writing it right now. Every day, every choice, every hour, you choose work over life. This is it. This is your life, not the future life you're building. This, right now. Are you in it, or are you too busy to notice? Choose. This was Uncensored. If this made you rethink your relationship with work, good. Because grinding yourself to death isn't ambition, it's suicide. Subscribe for more truths that will save your life by destroying your delusions. Next time, why you're so lonely despite being more connected than ever. The answer will hurt.